Okay, so I'm doing this on my phone, so it's a little bit probably difficult to see, but I have here, put my phone down, a 1750 Chambers Encyclopedia Dictionary. And I want to go to page 236. And the point of this video is to show you that the word state is used in a way that we're not used to, that the word state meant something different back in the old days than what we're used to seeing now. And I'm going back to 1750 because this is a book that the founders may have used because it was around when they wrote the Constitution. They would be educated on some of these books of this era. And it's important to note that because there weren't a lot of books available. It's not like they had libraries and libraries and libraries. They did have libraries, but it's not like they had, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of books available to them the way we do now with the internet. So we see here barge, a kind of state. Okay, and it goes on, a pleasure boat used chiefly in the navigation of rivers which lead to great cities. Okay, and then it explains the types of barges. So I'll show you the front cover of this book. It's an old book, like I said, from 1750. They always have these neat pictures in the front. Well, not always, but some of them are pretty cool to look at. Okay, encyclopedia, or a universal dictionary of arts and science containing an application of the terms and an account of the things signified thereby in the, this is a title of a book, several arts, both liberal and mechanical, into these several sciences, human and divine, the figures, kinds, properties, productions, preparations and uses of things. See how UFES is really USES. Natural and artificial, because there's a distinction, including between people, a natural person or an artificial person, which is a legal entity. The rise, progress, and state of things, ecclesiastical, civil, military, and commercial, by Chambers. Okay. 6th edition, volume 1. Now I wanted to look up state in this old Chambers dictionary, but this is volume 1, and so state is not in this volume. I would have to find this volume 2 to look up the word state. But I do have a modern Chambers Encyclopedic Dictionary. Okay. And go to state, status. Your status is your state. And this is a lowercase s, just like it says in barge. To stand. Doublet of estate and status. Get my pen. Is where you stand. Okay. Officer's room on a ship. The meaning of magnificent, splendid, is first recorded before 1420. This is why I love Chambers. Stat is probably before 1200. Stat, position in society. A station. Okay, so we can look up state. Well, that is state, but we can look up status, S-T-A-T, status, in 1671 as a Latin word used in the sense of height. In Evelyn's correspondence, later legal standing of a person. borrowed from Latin status, genitive status. Now a lot of people claim that the government or writers of dictionaries have changed the meanings of words. I do not agree that they changed the meaning of words. You cannot change the meaning of a word. They only change how they use the word, which doesn't change the meaning. It only changes their use. They use it in a word. They use it in a way that's not intended to be used according to its actual meaning. So it is like a form of trickery or deception, but I don't believe that if people were smart and they knew the actual meaning of the words, and it's not, I don't agree that it's our fault that we aren't, because they took over the education system. Okay, so it's not our fault. I would never claim that it's our fault when people deceive you. But we do need to get smart and reclaim our education system and make sure that our children are taught properly. Okay, Latin status, condition, position, state, from star to stand, doublet of estate and state. So state and status are connected. And see, they have them capitalized here. See, capital word state. Which, when they capitalize it here, it's not capitalized in the book like that. It's just all lowercase state. They capitalize it just to set it apart from the rest of the word here. So then you have statute, to stand. So if state means status, and status means where you stand, and statute is where you stand, then you could say that statutes are for people in certain states according to where they stand, and they stand in a state. But all states are not the same. There's abstract states, there's federal states, there's private states, there's independent states, there's dependent states. It's wherever you stand. But you can stand in a legal state, which would be an artificial state. Where is artificial here? It says natural and artificial there. A legal state would be in the artificial state, and the artificial state is a dependent state, and the dependent state are the federal states, which are the federal areas inside our natural state. So our natural state would be the original state, and the original state, for example, is Republic of Texas, and the legal state, State of Texas, okay, or Republic of California, State of California, because they're artificially created, they're dependent, they can't secede from the Union. They're states, but they're not really states because they play with the words. But they're legal states. Legal states are artificial. Natural is true, real, and another word I can't remember right now. Authentic, that's what it is. Authentic, meaning created naturally. Artificials created on paper, okay? So that's my take on state. In general, it's just where you choose to stand. So you can choose to stand in an artificial state, State of Texas, State of California, State of Virginia, which is a dependent state, created by the federal government and its instrumentalities. Or you can stand in a natural state, which would be Republic of Texas, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Republic of California, etc. The original state created by the people. And that's an argument in a congressional record, and I'll look for that and post it again, where one of the congressmen are arguing in on the record in Congress, and he's asking, is a state something created by the people, or is it a state cooked up or created by the men in Congress? An abstract, an artificial thing. Is it real or artificial? Real things are created by actual people, not on paper necessarily. Okay. And that can get a little confusing, and that can get a little touchy-feely depending on how things are done on paper and how things are contracts that you agree to. But are the contracts fully disclosed to you? So in my opinion, the federal state that's created through the federal instrumentalities, where they try to get you to sign papers and become an artificial person, is it's all just legal and artificial and not a part of the real world, not a part of the natural world. Okay, so state is just generally where you stand. And you can stand anywhere you choose, because you have the right to choose your form of government. So choose wisely.